Hi. Give me a minute. I'm a little preoccupied at the moment. I can't find my sling anywhere. Nope. It's not in my pockets, is.
Not behind the couch either. I'm stuck. Help.
I have been turning this house upside down for hours. Where is it? Where is my sling? How do you lose a sling when it's tied to your belt all the time? Randall, if that's you... Randall, I gave your cookbook back already. Legolas? What's he want? Well, isn't that just great? He stole my sling. He stole it. Just took it. Great. Now what am I supposed to do? Welcome to this episode of Beorn's Tent. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a sling. Especially since a certain pointy-eared freak seems to think he can do whatever he wants, then I have a better excuse to make a new one. To make a sling, you're going to need a Sharpie, or a pencil, marker, any kind, a tape measure, some scissors, a hole puncher, preferably this kind, some leather, some long paracord, and, this is optional, glue and a brush. It's not very hard to design a sling since it's not that complex of a weapon. Really, the only part of it that's completely your design most of the time is the materials you use. But still, sometimes it's a good idea to sort of map it out and label it, just so that you know what you're doing and you have a good image in your head. Now, obviously, I don't want to use this whole piece of leather for the pouch. Then it would just be way too big. The size I want to go with is about 4 by 8 inches. So I measure 8 inches up this side. Make a little mark right there. And on this side, measure 4 inches. Leather can be kind of a hard material to cut through sometimes, so when you're doing it, make sure you've got sharp scissors. Yeah, make sure they're not dulled. Well, yeah, it can be kind of tricky to cut through pretty much either way, but just get like the sharpest scissors you can, so it'll be a little easier to cut through it. The leather itself is thick. When you're marking the spot on each end where you're going to punch the hole for the cord, make sure you've got just enough space so that it's still thick, like it won't snap or pull apart. I'm pretty sure it won't anyways, because the pouch on my other sling has been really good, but still, it's better safe than sorry. Because that happened with one of my other slings once. The pouch was made out of a rubber exercise band. Don't ever make a sling out of rubber. No, don't. Because elastic, stretchy materials shouldn't be used for a sling. Because you gotta remember that you're trying to throw heavy projectiles like rocks or heavy balls. So if you use rubber to swing it and throw, then it's just not that good. You want this to hold together. When you're making a sling, think about, let me see, how do I put this? Okay, let's say you're gonna go on a quest, like cross-country, worldwide, whatever. You wanna make it out of something that can last. You know, something that's very durable and won't tear or rip or snap super easy. Like this for the cord. I have used this for a couple of other slings before, and see, this stuff's really, really strong. And for the pouch, the leather's good. The first few slings I've made, the cords have been okay, the pouches have been defective. With my leather one, I was getting a little worried about the cord. But this one is both. It's got a good pouch, and it's got a good cord. Or at least it will when I'm finished making it. Really squeeze it, get the hole puncher all the way through. With the leather, what I like to do is, since the hole's not usually big enough, I'll just take something like a pencil or a paintbrush and just shove it through the hole as some kind of a drill to make it a little wider and stretch it a little more. See, looking bigger already. The retention cord is the one that is looped around your middle finger. So that way when you're throwing with the sling, you don't throw the sling itself. It stays on your hand. So the easiest way to do that is to just tie a simple loop. Oh, nice and tight. The length of the cord usually depends on the length of your arm, but I keep getting mixed up whether that means down to your wrist, down to your knuckles. And with the retention cord, I don't count the loop. So I'm just going with 2 feet. I've got the 2 feet spot marked, but when you're doing this, you also need to have some remainders in the cord here to tie it on tight. You need to be able to pull on a long strip of the cord to really get the knot secure when you're tying it to the pouch. See, this is where I marked the 2 feet, so I should probably bring it about here. I think that's good. I think that's enough. Unfortunately, paracord does unravel after you cut, so it can be a little tough to get it through the hole. So if you run out of ideas, what you can do is try something like this by wrapping it in a paper clip and using it like a sewing needle. See that? Gets it right through. Usually it's a good idea to sort of reinforce the knot with glue to make sure it doesn't come undone. Now with the other cord, which is called the release cord, you're supposed to sort of pinch it hard with your forefinger and thumb. You don't grip it. You just use these two fingers so that you have a much smoother and easier release. Honestly, what kind of release is easier than this? And what a lot of sling makers will do is they'll have like a thick braid or a knot at the end of that cord. I used knots for it in the past, but I'm going to try something different. This time I'm going to have a tab at the end. So what I do is just punch the hole through the leather. There we go. And when you're looping the cord through, it might be easier to just start with the end that's already been reinforced. Like you just get it like that. You don't have to glue it. See, I'm using 2 layers of leather here so that it's extra soft, it's nice and thick, and gives you a better cushion to hold. I haven't measured this yet. I'm just starting with this part of the cord. It's probably easier if you just start out here and wait and cut after measuring, after doing this. While we're waiting for the glue to dry over there, why don't we talk about ammunition? Meaning the projectiles that you throw with a sling like this. Now, what you want to keep in mind is that the best ammo for a sling should be round and smooth. So you mostly be throwing rocks, but the best thing to do would be to pick up these roundish rocks like the kind you would find in a creek or something. So this is one of my best examples. This is one that I found right by a grate, I think. Yeah, like near a draining grate. Can't remember exactly where, but these sort of stones are formed by running water. So if you go by a river or a creek or a waterfall or something, you should find a lot like these. But if you don't know just where to look for that kind of thing, you can always go to a sporting goods store or something and pick out some of these. This is what I always use for target practice. I love to use golf balls because they're a very good size. They fit the pouch. They're a good weight, so they'll really pack a punch. And they're just round and smooth enough so that they'll fly right. So whenever I go out and target practice, I'll carry a few of these in my pocket. Or sometimes I'll carry some of these around in my pocket when I have my sling with me, just in case of emergencies. The reason I marked the middle of the pouch here is because I'm going to cut it down to like a diamond shape. Because that's what you want the pouch to look like. Because if the pouch is a square like this, then when you're throwing with it, the corners here will just create more air resistance and it'll drag. through the air. So that's not what you want. And plus, if you have the pouch too big, then it'll be heavier. Well, maybe not by too much, but still, it does make a difference. Trust me. So, what you want to do is mark the middle of the pouch here, and then cut the corners from the string down to here. Probably don't have to go like to the exact point. I mean, you can if you want to, but I think I'm gonna have this edge here kind of rounded so that it doesn't look too sharp or angular. So holding it is easy. Now throwing it is a little trickier. Well, it's more like hitting a target that's hard. Gotta figure out just how to do it. It's like with a bow and arrow. It takes a long time to get a really good, accurate shot. But there are a few different throws that I know. One that I've seen a lot of times is when you do it like this. But I honestly don't know how you can hit anything when you do it like that. I don't know. I have to ask the experts. But the one that I favor when throwing with a sling is just doing it like this. Just give it a little momentum and yeah, that's the cool thing about having the end weighted is it just takes a flick of the wrist and you can get it back and reload. It's a really fun weapon, I have to say. And it's the kind that won't get confiscated by Eagle security or anything like that. Yes! I got him! I got him! I got him! Huh. It actually landed in his mouth. How about that? Smell you later, old puppy. Who could that be? As if I didn't already know. This better not be about losing that archery competition. If I hear that one more time, I'm gonna hit him. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty simple. So this time, it's the other way around. No, with my last one, it was the other way around. Like if I need to defend myself or something, and I don't have some other strong weapon with me, other than my fists.